Hey friends, John Quirk here, founder of SoCal Wellness Retreats. I want to take a few moments to pop on and talk about something that's really one of the core values, and frankly, probably the biggest reason why we love doing retreats. And it's talking about the science of change. And it's something that I've been fascinated with for as long as I can remember now, going down the pathway of wellness and spirituality and really just diving into deeper levels of the self. And the more time I've gotten to spend with people and kind of hearing their stories and all these different backgrounds, but really whittling it down to a couple key tenets of what it takes for us to change. And so, one of the things that we talk about a lot, one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite teachers, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he says that, where we place our attention is where we place our energy. And we can look at this, now science is incredible in terms of looking at how, we can literally heal ourselves physiologically just by the power of our mind and where we put our attention on physical parts of our body. But in looking at this more of an even macro sense, where we kind of put our attention in our lives is, where we tend to sort of see the biggest shifts or the biggest changes. And, oftentimes when we get sort of stuck in our ruts and we kind of are in our day-to-day, and I, as somebody that worked, high-stress corporate jobs, I know that it's easy to kind of get caught in that hamster wheel, in that trap of, repetitive action, and repetitive action leads to repetitive experience, and that creates the same thought patterns and the emotions, and we sort of can get stuck and rooted, in those things by just constantly placing our attention on the same things. And, along the same lines, if, we're constantly in a state of worry or fear, we tend to see how problems and difficulties tend to transpire in our lives. And if you look at people that, choose love and gratitude and, spend enough time really putting their attention on the things that they can be, grateful for and joyous with, and, spending more time with the people that bring that out in them, where it starts to manifest more in their lives. And, there's been numerous now studies, again, that show physiological benefits of, whether you put the attention on certain parts of your body, and we see increase in hormone production, enzyme production, healing happens in a much faster way. But the same is true, if you're wanting to shift or change your life. You start to put your attention on your well-being. You start to put your attention on, the thoughts that you're having, the emotions that you're having, the company that you keep, the food that you put in your body, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really an incredible thing how much the power of our attention and our intention is, and kind of creating our external environment. So just an invitation to to see where it is that you are placing your attention, and what are the thoughts that you're having, and how much time do you spend with those things, and then what are the emotions that they create in your body. I think we're all pretty familiar with the scenario where we start to think about a problem, something that hasn't even happened yet, maybe doesn't even end up becoming a challenge or an issue, but we spend so much time invested in, we can literally start to create physiological reactions in our body, right? We get tense, we can even start to sweat. And on the flip side, think about, anytime you fantasized about something joyous, a vacation or an interaction with somebody that you love, right? And that can elicit physiological reactions in your life. And so really, if we want to whittle it down to how do we start to shift, from a fundamental level, again, it's really just starting to look at where we place our attention. And so I invite you, the next time that you start to maybe walk down a path, a thought pattern or something that you just really know doesn't serve you, or something you don't need to worry about or put your attention on, first to see how quickly you can catch yourself. And they call that in neuroscience the refractory period. How long do we spend, in that space worrying or thinking about that thing? And then I like to make it just a fun little game. Try not to beat yourself up, but the first time you catch it, just kind of pause and see if you can shift into love, see if you can shift into gratitude. Take a moment, just look at what's, really abundant, what's really amazing in your life. And I promise you, the more that you start to do that, you'll start to wire these new pathways in your brain. And again, this is now studied in neuroscience, where the more you can start to shift, right, how you think, then you'll start to shift how you feel. And I promise you, do that enough times and you'll start to see how your external environment will start to change. The people will start to change. The behaviors will start to change around you. You just won't be attracting, some of that stuff. And so we'll dive a little bit more in the next video into some quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and don't get scared. It's not as hard as it seems, or as scary as it sounds, but how we can start to really dive deeper into these thought patternings, and how that's going to literally create the environment on a physical level around us. So hope you found this helpful, And we'll be popping in with some more Science of Change videos in the next few weeks, so please stay tuned. And of course, be well.